Launching is something that not only do I talk about to my clients all the time, but it's something most of us have experienced if we're in the online business space. And I recently had my first launch in about 9 months. And let me say, it was a bit of a roller coaster. So I'm gonna break down some of the biggest lessons that I learned in my most recent launch. And just like we do on these Sunday videos, get as transparent as possible and share with you the real deal of my most recent launch. So grab a drink and let's get into it. First up, if something's not working, don't be afraid to try something new. So from September to early March, we had been doing a paid workshop and it was working great until it wasn't anymore. And I got panicked and I freaked out. And it wasn't just what I was doing, it was kind of industry wide. This style of a paid workshop seemed to take a hit. Don't know if it was just that point of the year or what, but I needed to keep onboarding clients to keep paying bills, right? So I decided to go back OG webinar style. What was great about doing this is we were using ads. Our ads were way better priced with an OG webinar style than they were with paid workshop ads. And we were able to get almost 1,000 people. It was just slightly under 1,000 people sign up to this webinar, which is the most amount of people we've ever had sign up for one of my webinars. If you think webinars are dead, they might just not be. I'm gonna try moving forward is turning that webinar on evergreen to see if we can create a solid flow of not only leads, but growing our email list, because the next time we launch, we wanna have a pool of warm leads on our email list. The next lesson learned is 21 days for a launch, or a launch of 21 days is way too long. Our first 7 days in this launch period were our typical cart open, cart close. We had specific incentives, specific bonuses that were available during the Tuesday to like following Tuesday where the cart close or those incentives expired. What we then did to try to really capitalize on this momentum is that Friday was my birthday. So what I did was a 50% flash sale on my paid workshop, which was how we were converting clients earlier this year. I had thought by doing the free webinar, bringing new people in like cold leads, if the webinar did not convince them that working with me was the right step yet, if I gave them even more information or even more wins in a paid workshop, maybe that would tip them over the fence. We hosted a 4-day flash sale from that Friday to that Monday, and then I hosted my paid workshop that Wednesday, and then we had the typical cart open, cart close again for, I think it was 5 days after that. It was grueling, to say the least, to kind of be in launch mindset for that long. It did end up paying off because we doubled our clients from our first like cart open, cart close to our final 21st day cart close. So it was worth it, but I probably won't do it again. The third lesson is I've got to show up more, and I mean this to you as well. You've got to show up live more. Here's why. For so long, I've been wanting to do like an open house or a client panel, and I had a plan to do a panel with current clients, and then I'm just like, I don't want to bother my clients. Like, they're super busy. I don't want to get them on a call to have to talk to people. So we're not going to do that. But I decided I was going to host an open house where I was telling people if they came to the open house, I was literally going to be showing them what was inside of my coaching program. They were going to hear about it. There was no pitching, so to speak, to the program. I was just going to give them like a pull the curtains back. Here's what's actually happening inside. And it converted a quarter of our clients. That open house converted a quarter, 25% of our clients that we got during this launch. What am I going to be doing moving forward? The next live launch we host, I am going to incorporate into my schedule live stream somewhere. And I hate live streams, but whether I'm live streaming here on YouTube or on Instagram as well, I don't know about Facebook. I'm not on Facebook much, but I've got to show up more because live works. I'm also thinking about doing live audits, like people bring a question and basically get a sample Q&A call with me, like what it was like to get an audit from me in my coaching program, as well as Q&A calls. So like, just come to this call, bring your questions that you have. And another idea is those panels, bringing my clients that are getting amazing results day in and day out following my program, getting them into a Zoom call live with other people thinking about it, I think is going to be essential. The fourth lesson learned is pre-launch content plus runway into that hype thing is essential in launches. So meaning you can't just decide, I'm gonna launch tomorrow. It's not gonna work out. It's not going to do well. You need to get your audience ready for a launch. Ideally, you're preparing them for a launch 4 to 6 weeks out before that actual cart open day. I've even noticed this with a few of my clients as well, where I am reviewing their launch debrief to see what went well and what didn't go well. And the clients that are doing that pre-launch content leading into their launch are getting great numbers. The people that aren't getting that runway and are just launching because they need that fast cash, which I totally get, the results aren't as good. They're still getting some results, but they could get much better results planning out in advance, because the pre-launch content is prepping people for what's coming. You're reminding them of that pain point that they have. You're giving them the information on why they need this solved, or why your solution is going to be it. So when you drop, oh, here's the solution, they're gonna eat it up. And I will send you over, I'll link to a few videos below of Ashlyn Wrights. She has amazing pre-launch content. She explains how to do it. In fact, before this particular launch, I re-went through her Prime to Launch program, which I've gone through multiple times, and followed her structure to prepare me for this launch, which was our best launch since 2021. A fifth lesson learned is email list growth for life. I've done a really bad job of continuing to grow my email list because for so long we had focused on our agency clients, and our agency clients found us through YouTube, word of mouth, and we kind of just went stagnant with our email list. Like, it was growing as much as we were getting new people were unsubscribing, so we were pretty stagnant. I just got comfortable in my ways. I never really wanted to push a lead magnet or give like a free PDF. I was in the mindset that I would rather have a paid email list, meaning people were paying to be on my list by getting on a paid workshop, than freebie chasers. But I really learned over the course of the last 3 months and leading into this launch that you have got to get all types of people on your email list if you want to have successful launches. When Erica, my marketing director, did our launch debrief, we realized that half of the people that joined our program this time had been on our list over a year, and half of them had just joined our list in the last month. So that told us we can convert cold leads pretty much if we've got really great content supporting our launch. And we also know there are going to be people that take longer to want to buy and work with us. And so just keep growing your email list, putting stuff out there, giving them free things, giving them paid things, giving them small ticket things to get them on your list, and continue feeding them with weekly content, which is what I do with my YouTube videos. I think the biggest lesson learned at the end of this launch cycle is to listen to my gut. For so long, I doubted my decisions. I felt imposter syndrome. I didn't think my decisions were good enough because the business didn't do as well last year. And I figured that was my fault. The decisions that I made weren't good enough. So I doubted every decision that I had. I don't know if it was that launch or if it was the recent Taylor Swift Tortured Poets Department album that I had listened on repeat, I don't know, 150 times by now. Or maybe it's me in my last years of my 30s really having a new era awakening. Call it what you want, but I had this lightning bolt of trust your gut. Do what your gut is telling you. And so one of the things that I did very last minute, literally the day we opened the cart to our launch, I decided to completely rewrite all of our launch emails. I told my team, look, I need the next 4 to 5 hours to just focus on writing. Don't disturb me. Make sure the clients are handled. I need to rewrite these emails. And to tell you how hard it is for me to write, I don't think I can explain that because I'm always doubting my writing, which is why I show up on video. But for some reason, it just flowed out of me. I believe I wrote 6 emails in under 4 hours, and it just really felt good. And it ended up being great because our emails converted more than any other launch that we had done in the past. I also leaned more into what I felt was good as a launch plan instead of like asking other people what they thought was a good launch plan or what they were doing. I just sat in my feelings and I asked myself, like, what feels good to you right now to do? And I went with that. And it's been too long since I've just relied on my gut feeling. I really want to open up this conversation on my channel about changes and mistakes and moving past failures because look, I know it's not easy right now. So I was thinking about starting a series here on Sunday similar to my transparency series, but this series would be more about failures, like what I wish I knew when I started my business, what I wish I knew when I started my YouTube channel. Failures or what I wish I knew when I started hiring a team, what I wish I knew maybe 1 year ago, what I wish I knew when I joined a high ticket mastermind. These are kind of the topics that are coming to my head. So do any of those really stand out for topics you would like me to talk about in the next couple of Sundays? Or do you have any specific failures you want me to share with you? Leave them down in the comments below. And if you didn't catch all of my transparency series videos that I did back in April, I have them all up on your screen right now so that you can grab some popcorn and binge watch all of those as I get completely real with you.